Oh wow, I just noticed a warning light on the dash. That's not good. I'm in Midland, Texas today at my brother's house and just about to head back to Dallas on my 2018 Honda Goldwing. I picked the motorcycle up from Midland Power Sports a couple of days ago, where it's been for the past 2 months undergoing repairs. Now, if you want to get caught up on everything that's happened up to this point in the Wreck to Ride series, I'll put a link in the upper right-hand corner of this video, so check it out. I've given the bike a fairly thorough inspection and a light cleaning, but I won't be able to really know how well the repairs went until I've had some extended time in the saddle. Wreck to Ride Part 2 is sponsored by Bond Body Armor, Keyson Electronics, and Break Free Technologies. In this video, I'm planning to ride 350 miles from Midland back to Dallas, primarily on US Highway 180 to avoid the semi-traffic, but the first 50 miles will require some interstate riding. How will this motorcycle perform and ride after the front fork and front wheel were replaced? And what other little surprises will show up that might need to be dealt with? After leaving my brother's house, I'm on Loop 250 in Midland heading towards Interstate 20. It's about 7:08 in the morning and the sun is just coming over the horizon. It's a beautiful morning for a ride. So we're getting ready to get onto Interstate 20 East. For some reason, I'm getting a TPMS Light. That's an indication that the TPMS sensor is not the receiver is not receiving the signal from one or more of the tires. And I've never had that light on before. I don't know why it would come on this late, unless there's a loose connection. The only thing I can try when I get home is I do have a TPMS sensor programmer, and possibly they didn't program the front TPMS sensor correctly when they installed the new wheel. I don't know. That's the only thing I can try. I can try reprogramming. I actually have a video on how to do that in case you ever need to do it, but you do have to buy the little device to read the sensors. So right now I probably just don't have tire pressure monitoring, which is not good. And this light is different than the flashing low tire pressure light, so don't confuse TPMS light with that light. This light indicates that there is an issue with the receiver is not receiving a signal from one of the sensors, and I can only assume it's the front sensor since that's what was replaced. I don't like riding on the interstate, especially on a motorcycle that's just been repaired, especially on a motorcycle that is now showing me an error light on the dash. The ride is smooth. The front tire feels well balanced. Well, believe it or not, we're right back at the scene of the crime. I'm exiting on exit 178 here in Big Spring, and I'm coming up on the intersection where my accident occurred. Now, this is the truck stop that the trucker who backed into me said he was trying to back up and make a right turn so he could go to this truck stop, which didn't make any sense, because if he had just gone straight, he still could have made the turn. So this is where I have to go left. He was trying to make this little turn here on this little left or right hand turn lane, and he missed his turn and was backing up to get to that. Not really the smartest thing for him to do. And as you can see, the lay of the land here, I was about right here because I was next to these guardrails. But anyway, that's where it all happened. Almost 2 months ago to the day, I've been without my motorcycle for almost 8 weeks, not quite 8 weeks. And now I am on Highway 350 North heading to Snyder. This would be a good opportunity for me to thank my sponsors, Cruiseman Technologies, which makes the Tailblazer, which I have mounted to this motorcycle. And what that does is it's a brake light modulator. Really gets people's attention when you come to a stop. I have used Cruiseman products for decades. Also, another sponsor is Brake Free, and Brake Free Technologies is the ones that make this light on the back of my helmet. I never get on this motorcycle or put a helmet on that I don't have that Brake Free light on. I think it's an excellent safety device to help prevent a rear end collision. These are so popular that he has a hard time keeping them in inventory. And I've recommended them to everybody I know. I just think it's a very, very good safety product. And so check out Brake Free. I specifically chose products as sponsors of this video series to be those that I felt like were important safety products. I feel that way about the Cruiseman Tailblazer. I certainly feel that way about the Brake Free light. And I also feel that way about one of my favorite sponsors, Bond Body Armor, which I am wearing today. I have the Bond Armor lower protection for my knees and hips and tailbone. It's at a very thin mesh that in the summertime you don't even know you have it on. It's very comfortable. This is their level 2 armor. I also replaced the armor that came with this Olympia jacket. I replaced it with the Bond armor. So I have the level 2 armor in this jacket as well. And I can tell you from experience, this armor is not only flexible and lightweight, but it really does do the job. This video and this series would not have been possible without these sponsors, because there was a lot of expenses involved that were not covered by insurance. I'll go into that more detail later if you're interested, but anyway, right now heading to Snyder, and then I'll be on Highway 180. Fortunately, we have nice weather today. It's a little bit breezy, but not bad for West Texas.
Been walking around in circles, wondering where to start. This long overdue conversation, why we're falling apart.
If you follow my channel, you know I'm not very fond of interstates. There's just too much traffic and too many semis, and I just don't enjoy the experience. I prefer these smaller back roads. Unfortunately, at the beginning and end of this ride, I am required to ride some interstates, but the majority of miles are going to be more relaxing like this highway and give me a chance to focus on the handling and the characteristics of my Goldwing following these repairs. Now, as I leave Snyder on Highway 180 heading east, I'm paying very close attention to how the Goldwing handles and trying to see if I can notice any difference in the handling on the highway. Changing lanes seems to be normal, and I've experienced a few small bumps in the road so far and have not noticed any issues. Right now, Other than the TPMS sensor error, everything seems to be pretty normal. I don't hear any unusual noises coming from the front end. If I remove my hands briefly from the grips, other than the wind pushing me, the bike seems to track pretty straight. I know that many of you commented on the previous videos that a front-end collision requiring the replacement of the front fork and front wheel should have resulted in the motorcycle being totaled. Honestly, I felt the same way at first. My fear was that there may be serious damage to the frame or other components and that the bike would never ride the same. As long as the bike continues to ride like it does right now, I'll probably keep this motorcycle until the 2024 models come out. You know, my big question was, am I ever going to feel comfortable riding this motorcycle after it's been repaired? Now the answer is yes, and in my next video, I'll tell you why. My next and final video in this series is also going to be the next Crown and Comments. And in that video, I'll respond to many of your comments about this accident, and I'm going to tell you how one person's views really changed my perspective on whether or not I could trust this bike after the repairs. In that video, I'm also going to tell you about my experience with Progressive Insurance. This is the first claim that I've ever made with Progressive, and I'll go into detail about how well I feel they've handled this claim. So, if you're considering switching insurance companies, make sure you watch that video first. I should also mention that I'm planning some follow-up with Progressive regarding a few items that have yet to be repaired or replaced. So I'll update you very soon on how that goes. I'm also going to evaluate my experience with Midland Power Sports and how they handled all of the repairs on this motorcycle. The next Wreck to Ride video will definitely be a video you will not want to miss. So I guess the good news is my ride back to Dallas, all 350 miles, was pretty uneventful. The bike feels to me like it rides as good as new. I can't really tell that the bike has even been worked on. By the time I got back to Dallas-Fort Worth, the temperature is up around 90 degrees, and the wind is picked up as well. I'm anxious to get the bike back into my garage and see if I can get this TPMS issue resolved, so I'll let you know in the next video. Thanks again for watching today. Don't forget, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. That really does help my YouTube channel. And remember what I always say, ride often, but ride safe. I'll see you on the next Wreck to Ride.